despite meeting you guys on trail, we kind of didn't have very long
Yeah,
together.
I think after, what was it, Wrightwood is where we kind of separated, right?
Yeah, Wrightwood is really like the last place I felt like I saw you guys for like longer than just like a second, and then I saw you again in when you exit Kearsarge Bishop, right?
Oh yes, for at the hotel for a brief second.
Yeah, literally for a second, and then that was it. I don't think I saw you guys again.
Yeah, just stay right where I'm at. I hope I don't get like a call. Sometimes it drops my shit when I get a call. Yeah, you got to help the old people out, you know?
This is Yeti Legs today. We are without Basecamp because she was called into work, but have no fear, the podcast must go on. And this is going to be the second episode of our Fireside Chats. And today we have with us April and her dad, Kurt. April's trail name was Roy G BIV, and her dad, Kurt, his trail name was Six Pack. So, April, Kurt, Roy G BIV, Six Pack. What's going on? Who are y'all? Did we lose Kurt?
I can't hear him either. Oh no.
No worries, Kurt. We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. We're probably like the least technical people here, so it's
no worries.
It's gonna be a struggle. So I'm April. I'm Roy G BIV, and I have to give Yeti Legs credit for the name. I believe it was Julian day 7 when you gave it to me, and we were all drinking beers at the bar, and it just was like the perfect time, and I got knighted, so it was official and stuck with me, and ended up being a really cool, unique name. And I'm from North Texas. I decided to hike the trail about 2 years prior to actually hiking the trail. I kind of got the idea. I think a lot of people have different ways they came across the trail, like even to begin with. And I didn't really know anything about long distance hiking until, one day my dad and I were just kind of sitting and chatting. And I just said, I want to do something off the wall. I want to do something that's going to like shake my life up a little bit. I felt, that normal monotony kind of with my job and just like, I don't know, the routineness of just life at that point. And so I was like, okay, I want to do something epic. And that's when my dad kind of brought up the PCT. And I had no idea what the PCT was until he said it. But once I heard it, I got obsessed, started like looking at vloggers and researching. And then there was just this feeling of I have to do this. And if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it. There was also that fear of like, can I do this? And I think that's probably in all of everyone's mind that starts the trail. But that goes away after... Not in the first week. In the first week, I was like, yeah, can I do this? But eventually that went away and I ended up doing it. But yeah, that's, a little bit why I wanted to do, how I kind of came across the PCT and wanted to do it.
Okay, so it was your dad's suggestion, and he suggested it about 2 years before you started. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah, 2 years before. I waited because I wanted to save money, do it. Because when I knew when I did it, I didn't want to be stressed, I wanted the comfort of like, okay, if I want a hotel room, I can get a hotel room. I didn't want that extra burden of like not knowing if I was going to financially make it. I didn't want anything to stop me besides my own self, I guess. So I took some time getting to trail and preparing.
And that's good to hear because a lot of folks out there who follow other hikers, they'll say they're going to do it. They'll start planning for it. A year goes by, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they don't do it. What advice would you give to someone who's planning one of these big trails in the U.S. or abroad, who don't exactly have the finances or the know-how just yet? But is there a time frame you would tell them to jump on the gun and to do a trail and stop putting it off? Or what would you recommend?
Yeah, it's hard to give like general advice because everyone kind of has a different situation, but I would advise patience because that's what I had to kind of preach to myself was as soon as I found out about it, no doubt I was like, I think it was in March of the first year that I thought about it. And I was like, oh, I want to do it now, you know? And then I was like, okay, I can't do it now because, you know, the season already started. But then I was like, I want to do it next year. And then after some conversation with my dad, just really thinking about it, you know, I was like, does that make sense? So because I wasn't financially ready and, you know, it didn't feel like enough time. So I think you have to gauge, like, based on your financial situation, everything, like maybe it's a year for you, maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 3, but just being patient with yourself, because I will say, I think part of my success in finishing trail was not rushing into it without being prepared before, if that makes sense.
Sure. It does make sense. Kurt, are you here with us?
I'm not sure.
I think you are. Welcome back, Kurt.
Well, it doesn't say connected on there, and you keep losing me, so I don't know. I've been listening the whole time, though. That's good.
You're on.
All right, cool.
So Kurt, you gave Roy G. I gotta get used to calling you Six Pack because I always called you Kurt when I knew you.
Right.
So Six Pack, you gave Roy G the idea to hike the PCT. Why that one and not the Appalachian Trail or the Continental Divide?
Yeah, Dad, why? I never asked you that.
Well, the truth is, I didn't really know about the Continental Divide, and yeah, the Appalachian Trail was an option, but yeah, I was kind of influenced by a few movies. I think the PCT was a little more well known and famous, and it just seemed like maybe a cooler trek.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was a great suggestion for sure.
Yeah.
Did you fly to San Diego together, or did you meet at the southern terminus? How did that look like when the two of you started the PCT together?
Well, I'm not sure.
Uh-oh,
we lost them again.
I know. I really think it's their internet connection. I will answer that question. We did fly into San Diego together. We were just there like one night. We didn't spend a couple nights. We flew in and we got most of our like food supplies and stuff from San Diego. Like it's like fuel canister. I carry bear spray because I was scared, and so all the things that like you couldn't take on a plane, I got in San Diego. And then the next morning we had a family friend who drove us to the terminus. So that was nice.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Did you stay at Cleve at all, or do you even visit it, or did you just start?
Oh my gosh, no. And I mean, everyone's experience. Now that I've had my experience, I feel like it was perfect for me. But you know, in hindsight, like I wish I would have known about Cleve. I didn't even know it existed, and I walked right past it. Didn't even know what it was until later on I had heard about it. So, sounds like it was a pretty cool deal. And you and Basecamp went to it, right?
Yeah, we camped there the night before our start, and they made a spaghetti dinner. The next morning, they made coffee and pancakes, and it was a really interesting stay.
Yeah.
Legend and Papa Bear were the two big hikers, kind of renowned, who were running it, and they offered sage advice, and of course, there were some good laughs mixed in there too. So you started with your dad at the terminus. Whenever y'all started, did you do anything to like commemorate the moment, or did you go touch it and just start walking?
You know, we didn't do much. We took some photos, and you know, the PCT volunteers were set up with their booth, and they kind of talked to us a bit. But I think there was so much like anxiety and nerves and excitement to just go, you know, that we didn't really think to do anything, and we should have. Again, hindsight 2020, we should have maybe like celebrated a little bit more, or really took in the moment. But no, we pretty much just were like pictures, and then we went. But then it was funny because we thought that we would be walking like, I don't know, in my mind, the start of the PCT was like, I'm going to be directly in wilderness. And it's like, you kind of follow like that road.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wait, I might see my mom again in 2 seconds. And then we did at the train track crossing. I don't know if you've seen my vlog, but literally mile 3, where it has that famous sign crossing the train tracks. My mom was on a train going through that, and we saw her.
Oh my gosh. Did she stick her head out and wave?
She like didn't see us at first, and then she finally saw us, and we were screaming at her, and she saw us and waved. It's so crazy because I was videoing at that time too. It was just completely serendipitous, like nuts.
That's hilarious. And you mentioned your vlog. We'll definitely get links to all of your socials and your YouTube channel in the show notes for this episode too.
Oh yeah, awesome.
So I want to ask one last question about your start, and then we can kind of get into the first day and just go from there. How did you feel starting the trail with Six Pack, your dad? Did you feel like you wanted to start it with him, or you wanted it to be just a you thing and him join later in the day? What were your emotions at that time?
You know, I definitely wanted my dad to start with me because I was scared and, scared of camping alone, scared of just everything. Like, it was nice to have not only someone there, but a family member because you trust them. You're like, okay, even if I'm like breaking down, like they're going to be there for me. But then there were things where I would be like, I really want to listen to music right now, but, it's kind of like rude. So I didn't. And we talked a lot, but I wouldn't change a thing. Honestly, it's some of the most important bonding I've had with my dad ever, and we're pretty close. But I mean, it's hard to recreate the bonding that happens on trail because it's like I call it like trauma bonding, and it's like, it's like you're both miserable at certain points, but like it's so worth it, and emotions are so raw. Like you're so I don't know. It's like a different state of mind. So I'm so glad that we started together.
And you make a good point because I've done a blog article and we've talked about this on our podcast in the past, but it's almost like brothers and sisters in arms. Like we don't go through the same things that our military members do, but it's on a similar playing field because you're risking your life, you're suffering out there.
Yeah.
And you just got to suck it up together.
No, I think that's funny you mentioned that because at one point I was hiking with some friends and I just said, if I were building a military, I would start with like through hikers. Like go recruit everyone that's ever like done a through hike because it's kind of like the same mentality. And I'm not trying to like oversell what we do, but I'm just saying I agree. Like kind of like the suffering you go through and just the rawness of it all. Yeah, I was like I would build an army of through hikers.
For sure. Now that I think about it, they would excel at ruck marches, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so.
So your first day on trail, you hike. You're hiking with your dad's 6-pack, and we come across you that night just as the sun is setting. We had just met 2 other hikers at the top, and you and your dad were sitting there camping, and we hear you laughing before we see you. Yep. Y'all are over there drinking a 6-pack of beer.
Yep, always.
Who hiked that in?
We split the weight, but it's no surprise that it's my dad's 6-pack who had the idea to do it. But yeah, no, we shared the weight. And Dad, I know you're on and off, but you just chime in when you hear that you're on. If you don't speak, whatever, that's fine too. But yeah, it was his idea, and it was a good one because I needed it at the end of my first day.
Yeah, no, that was fun for sure.
Yeah.
Did you need it because you're exhausted or just stressed out, or what was it?
Oh my God.
It was just our plan to celebrate, day one being in the books.
I like it.
Yeah, and I don't think we were stressed by the end of the day. Actually, I felt relief because I think like that first anxiety is kind of behind you at that point. I mean, you're still like everything's new, but I don't know. I wasn't like that same like nervous energy that I was in the first like few hours.
Yeah, you broke the seal.
Exactly. Yeah. Band-Aid.
I actually think we seen y'all coming out of that camp trailer at the very beginning when we were about 200 yards from the wall from the start.
Cleve.
No kidding.
Yeah, we were talking to what was the name his trail name? April, the dark-haired guy, Darko, or
you call him Midnight or something.
Midnight, yeah.
It's not talking. Yeah, Midnight.
Yeah, we're talking to him, and I didn't realize at the time, but later I recalled y'all just kind of coming out of the trailer, and so yeah, y'all weren't too far behind us.
We were right there and didn't even know you yet.
Yeah, I know it. But yeah, I remember seeing you guys that night at our first camp. That was pretty cool.
It was. Man, we heard some weird sounds in the woods after we left y'all's camp that night.
Are you serious? Like animals?
Yeah, it sounded like lions screaming in the distance.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad I didn't hear that. I was out.
Yeah, it's a little intimidating.
Yeah, I thought what was crazy is how cold it was our first night. Like waking up, there was frost and everything. It was like first welcoming of the desert.
Man, I'm telling you, because there's so low humidity in the desert, there's no water to buffer the temp change, so it gets freezing cold at night and it's hot as Hades during the day.
Yeah, like that's something I really didn't realize was how cold it was at night there.
So y'all went to Lake Marina the next day. Didn't y'all camp there?
We did end up camping there. Had some pizza, burrito, beer, everything,
And then, I mean, what was your first week like? Because you're hiking together. We saw you on and off, but I want to hear your story from the first week and how y'all felt.
Yeah, no, I always tell people the first week was probably the most exciting, but also like physically the hardest because your body's adjusting. Like we weren't even doing crazy miles. We were just doing what we needed to do. But sometimes even if you want to do low miles, there's things that push you on, like trying to find a campsite, stuff like that, or water, right? And so, your body's exhausted, but the excitement of it all being new is still there, and that's kind of pushing you on. But such a good first week. Like I think about my favorite parts of trail, and a lot of it happened in that first section, and you just can't recreate your first time. I can't stress that enough. It's so exciting.
How are y'all's feet after that first couple days?
Dad, how are your feet? Oh, okay, he's gone.
Oh, we just lost him.
I wore Hoka's, and I thought that was a good choice. My feet definitely were adjusting, but it was never like I never had blisters, not once on trail. I don't know. I felt like I had a really good system going on, but they were sore. It's like your body's not used to walking that far every day, like that kind of weight on your back,
Am I back on?
You are. How are you?
I think I'm good for like a minute at a time. I don't understand. My internet's not that bad because mom works from home, so who knows? But yeah, my feet were a little sore for sure. I've struggled with plantar fasciitis the last several years, but the Hoka's definitely helped. But I did have the I don't know if it's fit for a podcast, but I did have that first morning bathroom accident a little bit.
Oh my God!
But I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I had my little shaky legs, and there was some learning to go on there.
Hey, Kurt, everything is fair game for podcast. If you want to talk about it.
Yeah, hey, I'm an open book. I don't care. Yeah, my legs were a little shaky that first morning, and I had to adapt a little bit. But I figured it out after that. So
he's kept his own mess in a Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a good time.
The problem in the desert is there's no water to wash it off with.
Oh no, yeah, I don't know what. I didn't even ask. I didn't ask how he corrected the situation. I just was like, "That's on you."
What happens in the SoCal desert stays there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we lost him again.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. And we got to Julian after that first week, and we all hung out. We were drinking beers at what was it called? The Nickel Brewing Company.
Oh, you have a better memory than me. I cannot remember the name of that place.
Nickel or penny? It was some type of change.
It was not. That was fun. That was one of my like core memories too. Was that our group right there?
Yeah, that was a good time. Kurt was buying everybody drinks.
Yeah,
I tell you what, that next day trying to hike out of there, man. April, remember how hungover we were? Shoot.
Ooh, yeah.
And the 70-mile-an-hour winds. Remember when we got to y'all's camp that night? We were like not in a good mood. We had a rough one, but it was a fun night.
The day after Julian was a tough one. I won't lie. Didn't we have a storm or something?
Yeah, we had that storm, and then I just tell everyone now, like, if you ever want to cure a hangover, go hike like for 3 hours. You'll be fine.
Oh, you'll sweat all the alcohol out.
Yeah, it was gone.
You'll be good. And I named you at that brewing company too.
Did.
Yep, I named you Roy G BIV.
Yep.
And come to find out, there was another hiker out there called Prism. So I'm glad I didn't choose that one. I called you that because you had so many damn colors on. It was amazing.
No, actually, Roy G BIV ended up being like the most complicated name to explain to people, but also like the most fun name to have because for one, no one had it ever, maybe in history. And I got to educate people on the colors.
Did you continue to wear like the whole spectrum of colors throughout the rest of the trail?
My crazy colors stayed with me the whole time.
So he's talking about the bad weather after leaving Julian and the hangover. I think the next town after Julian was Idlewild. What happened in that second week for y'all? Anything notable? Is that when Kurt hopped off?
Yeah, so it hits me like I'm on my own. But Optimist really helped me. I went and camped with you guys. It was like me and Basecamp.
Yes, and we heard what we thought was a mountain lion, and we named him Barnabas.
Yes. I chose not to go through, like, I didn't do sand the mountain behind Sanjak on the road and met everyone, like, after. So I went with Gup and Permafrost. And I went back at the end of trail and actually hiked that section. I stayed with my friend's grandparents in Hemet, which was really fun because I got to meet them and they were just the best people and now are like family to me. So very cool. And that's kind of when my group started switching up too, because obviously like I didn't go with you guys. So I kind of also had to start creating my own path, which was like a good thing though. Like, it was my first point in time where I felt like I had to like really start being independent.
And I do want to touch on that, the walk around Sanjak. So in our other episodes, we've talked about people skipping sections because they're too lazy to do big climbs.
Yeah.
Or they just don't want to do it. But you chose to skip for safety reasons. And that was a legitimate reason. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, and I think especially this year, like when talking about skipping, I don't know when this is going to air, but I mean, this is the year to be like overly cautious in my opinion. And
It is.
I didn't have the same level of experience as you guys did, and I was nervous about it, even though I know it's like below average snow year. I was just scared about it, and I also knew I had a way to come back and do it at the end. And so that helped sell me on my decision. But, I agree, there were people that were skipping sections for other reasons, not safety. But if we're skipping it for safety, I really like applaud those people because it could mean saving your own life.
Preach it.
Yeah, so that's just one of those things. It's like, it's not worth it. You can always go back and hike it. And there was plenty of options. Like, I feel like people who support the trail do their best to like make it available in different ways. So like I called like I don't remember who it was, but like the San Jacinto Forest people.
Yeah.
I called them and like asked their opinion and all of that. So, if you ever need to make a decision, sometimes it's good to lean on those people too.
Yeah, Idlewild is a good place to kind of get a group together, game plan for going into the Jacintos or not.
Yeah.
And reaching out to your resources and checking online to see what the snow levels are like. Is that what you did too?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and honestly, hindsight, like I probably could have went through with y'all's group, and I think y'all did really well with like trying to like coach people and stick with each other through that section. But I do think you just have to kind of gauge your own fear and your own comfortability and skills, and yeah, it's really a person to person decision. So
Didn't you at the end decide like, yeah, I should have done that with them. I probably could have, but you renew it first and cautious.
Yeah, no, after like, especially after so I did the Sierras alone, and like doing that alone, when I go back now, oh no, my dogs. Hindsight 2020, like now I'm like, oh, I definitely could have done the San Jacinto section, but always make the decision, like go with your gut.
For sure. And I mean, it was still the second week on trail, so you're still building up your hiking confidence at that point.
Exactly.
And to not have a big history of doing stuff in the snow or winter activities, I get it.
Yeah, I was like terrified of everything.
Yeah. We didn't really see you again, April, until Wrightwood. That's a huge chunk of trail to not really see you. What happened between San Jacinto and Wrightwood?
Oh, so I ended up hiking with like Gup and Permafrost for that next section. They stuck with me till not Wrightwood. I think I ended up, because I remember somehow I got involved with KT too before Wrightwood. Do y'all remember KT?
Yeah, we did meet KT in Wrightwood. I think it's the only time we saw him.
Yeah, I hiked into Wrightwood with him, so I don't remember how I got separated. Maybe I wasn't separated from Gup or Permafrost. No, we all hiked in together, but I just ran into KT. Sorry, it feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
It does.
I hiked with them, and that's when I got into Wrightwood, and I, saw you guys.
And there's a trend here. All three of these hikers you've been hiking with, Permafrost, Gup, and KT, they're all middle-aged to older men. Is there a reason for that?
I guess that's my spirit animal. I don't know. Like, I get along with like definitely older people, and I think I was the person who was always like, who wants to give me advice? Like, I need some wisdom, and they like always were like there to help.
That makes perfect sense. Do you think that had something to do with starting with your dad and then him hopping off at Warner Springs, and did you have a void to fill, or that was just the type of person you like to hang out with?
Maybe there was a subconscious factor, like I need a dad or a grandpa or whoever, I don't know. It just like worked out the way it did, but they were all so cool. I just like feel so lucky I ran into all of them. You start bonding with these people, and so when you lose somebody, it's just kind of like you really feel that loss. Same thing when Gup. Oh my gosh. Like,
that was hard. So Gup got off, and then he got back on after he hiked the Tahoe Rim Trail for a little bit. And then I don't know what happened to him after that. We met him in the Desolation Wilderness, and that was the last we saw him.
He jumped back on, like you saw area, but I don't know, all the signs for him were pointing like this isn't the year to do it. Yeah, he got off. So when he was hiking with, oh my gosh, just one of the fire stations in the desert. There was like two. I can't remember the names anymore. So it was like earlier on, but I think he did it like 400 to 500 miles. So yeah, some fire station there. I just remember it wasn't long after that he had to leave, but he left like the day that he was hiking with me. It was just him and I, and he was just kind of like, hey, like, I don't feel very good. Can you like hike close to me? Mm-hmm. And I kind of knew. I was like, oh man. I was like, yeah, of course. I hike right by me, and I just heard him yell from behind me, and he was like, "Hey, like I need to turn around. Like I'm not feeling well." He went to town, and that was it. But we stayed in touch the rest of the trail. He picked me up my last day, like me and Razor at the border of Canada, and drove us back to Seattle.
Oh man.
Yeah, like
now, I'm so excited to hear all this. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking now. I want you to take it from Wrightwood and just go through the PCT.
Okay.
And if I've got any questions in the meantime, I'll ask you. But I kind of just want to hear your story.
Yeah, wow. I feel like as I'm sure you and Basecamp feel like it's so long, and like, but I will do my best to like kind of condense things. So after Wrightwood, I got back on trail with KT and Raccoon, and we were kind of like a hiking trio, and we went up Baden Powell. And so my first day out of Wrightwood was hiking Baden Powell. One of the worst days on trail for me of the whole experience. It was Baden Powell.
Baden Powell was a shit show to Little Jimmy Camp, wasn't it?
Yes. What was that thing? Oh my god! I thought I was gonna die on Baden Powell.
Oh my god, the climb up Baden was all these little like switchbacks, all iced over. The top completely snow covered, and then on the way to Little Jimmy, it was a slush fest, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I just kept falling. There's one time where I was like, I'd gone over the top, and I was going back down, like trying to go to Little Jimmy Camp, and I kept falling, and I like to this point where I was sliding, couldn't stop myself, and I would thank God there was like this fallen tree that stopped me, and I was just freaking out. And
You're not the first person to say Baden was a terrible experience.
It was awful. I self-arrested with my trekking pole, and it broke. Like it was such a worst day ever. And then I got to camp, and KT was there, and that was not fun. He was like, "Yeah, it was kind of a choose your own path day, huh?" I was like, "Yeah, I did not choose correctly at any point in today." So,
but you made it. That's what matters.
Yeah, I totally made it, and that's what he was saying. He was like, "Yeah, but now like you can feel confident because you've like conquered it." I was like, "Yeah, that's true," and it really did give me some confidence going into the Sierras a tiny bit. Oh my gosh, I don't remember the order of things, but pretty much from my mind goes from there to Walker Pass.
That's okay. Go for it.
So, there's like the in-between there. I hiked a lot with trying to think of all the people. Chief, I believe, was in that group. There's the KOA that was maybe next. Do you remember that?
The Acton KOA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
A crazy windstorm. So we went into Palmdale. Me, KT, and Raccoon and Chief went to Palmdale. Because it was so, like, the wind was so bad. You could hear the windows. It was crazy. And then after that, I think that, we hiked on into, from Wrightwood to Kennedy Meadows, all I could think about was the Sierras.
Did you have any difficulties around Tehachapi with the wind?
Oh,
we were hiking that sucker in a wind advisory on the slopes.
Oh, I do remember there was a lot of wind. It was me and Raccoon, and we were going into Tehachapi, though, like the day of the windstorm, and so we kind of like waited it out, and we waited out the bad weather in town, which was good.
Were you hiking on and off with Deuces in that area? Because I think he did a 24-hour.
Yes, I was, because he did it with Chief, and we met them in Tehachapi.
That's right. Okay.
But Chief ended up taking I think it was 6 days, because he just destroyed his shins when he did the 24-hour challenge, and also we were just all having such a good time in Tehachapi. I don't know, it was just I think there was 10 of us in one room. It was just crazy. Sleeping in the closet. He had blown up his pad and slept in the sliding closet, which was hilarious.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No, it was fun. So I really enjoyed Tehachapi because it was that classic moment of just shoving a bunch of hikers in a room and the hotel hating us because we'd all show up at breakfast despite one person being charged. And from there, we hiked Tehachapi. Your next stop after that is going through to Walker Pass, right?
Yeah, Walker and then Kennedy South.
Yeah, and then Kennedy South, and I didn't really have a lot of issues, I would say. My body was feeling okay. I did have some knee trouble the first week of trail, but that kind of dissipated. And I think as I was probably weight loss and then slowly acclimating and stuff, I felt my body was pretty strong when I was getting into Kennedy Meadows South. All you can eat, Razor and Tumbleweed, Chief, Raccoon, me. And it's kind of all had a gigantic party. It's kind of like a celebration making it to Kennedy Meadows.
Kennedy is a party space.
It was definitely a party space. It was funny though, because so early in the season, it was a little bit underwhelming when I got there because I was it was in the morning and like I was the second one there or something and there was no one else. So, but then pretty soon by the afternoon, people were showing up and like we were already like drinks in and we were like, come on.
Isn't it cool when you're hiking up towards the road to Kennedy Meadows and you're hiking by a big stream, you can see mountains and pine trees popping up. You finally stop seeing sagebrush. Did that like do anything for you mentally? You're like, this is the geographical transition into the Sierras.
I love that you brought that up because yes, there was a point in time where like it switches from sagebrush to like you just see like this gray slate of like marble everywhere, kind of, you know, or granite. I think it's granite. Yeah. I'm like the worst at I don't even know what that is. Like,
geology.
Geology. Yeah, I'm not a geologist, but like it just turns into like gray rock everywhere. And you're just kind of like, okay, that's the Sierras, you know? And it's from there just kind of walking into it. And just the size of the mountains in the Sierras are just, I always tell my videos don't do it justice. Like you have to be there. It's unbelievable.
It's kind of giving me chill bumps just talking about that because that was a huge turning point on the trail.
Well,
so you were in Kennedy for how long?
Me, Raccoon, and Chief decided to take a week off to let the snow levels kind of go down, and we were just so early that we decided to go to Raccoon's hometown, which is Sonora, and we just hung out there, and then we did like a small trip to like San Francisco, and so it was a really, really fun side trip. I ended up seeing some friends from home that like had flown out, and yeah, it was really nice rest, but it also kind of like geared up my anxiety a little more.
Kurt, were you anxious for April to go into the Sierras?
Yeah, I was. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, the famous phrase. Yeah, no, I was. And, you know, by that point, instead of being her co-hiker from way before, earlier in the desert, I became kind of like a sport crew, you know, like a pit stop crew, having mailing off like the pole that she broke and tent stuff. And, yeah, so I was a little nervous about her hitting it, but she had gained her confidence. I could tell by talking to her.
So were you her designated like mail to person? You were shipping her stuff. She was shipping stuff to you whenever she was deciding she didn't need it, or how did that work?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, she would. You know, when y'all had service every now and then, she'd send something like, "I need this, get it out to wherever." And she had left me a book that had a lot of the addresses and stuff, so that made it easy. And yeah, she had that broken pole. Later, I think Kat got into her mattress. She can tell you more about that. Different things. Yeah.
Did you do Mount Whitney?
I did do Mount Whitney. That was epic. Like, so glad I did.
Did you do it with a group or solo or?
I did it with other hiker named Two Tone. Did you ever meet her?
Yes. Kira, was that her name?
Yep, I did it with Kira. She was so cool. I loved getting to hike that with her. It was really fun because we had not really known that well, and then we just decided we didn't want to do the like midnight version, so we did like kind of like a sunrise. Like by the time we got to Guitar Lake, the sun was kind of coming up, so we like hiked part of it in the night and part of it like, you know, with the sunrise. We didn't get to the top for sunrise. Like I just could not stay up all night.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, she's great, and it was just such a cool experience. I mean, it just felt really relaxed. And
did you have issues with altitude?
I did not. I'm shocked. I don't know. Like, you know, I felt like my general experience on the PCT is I just keep saying lucky. Like, I felt like I just never had a lot of problems. But I also feel like I did things right by my own body with, you know, I didn't rush. Whenever I was doing Mount Whitney, I didn't say I have to do it by this time or at this pace. And like I didn't hike out when I got right back, you know, like I really took my time on everything.
Yeah.
So
that's so great to hear, because a lot of people had issues with elevation. We interviewed Deuces last week, and he has this thing where elevation can sometimes put him to sleep.
What?
So he got up Whitney, got back down towards where the trail kind of flattened out.
Yeah.
Off the switchbacks, and he passed out.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. That's scary.
I'm not kidding you. So I'm glad that you were okay on that.
Yeah, you know, I remember getting to the top, and Raccoon and Chief, I guess, hiked. You know, they're like 19, so they slept in. Like they're like, we are not doing anything before like 8 a.m. So by the time we were coming back down, Whitney, they were almost at the top. And Chief said he had a headache, so he was experiencing a headache. And then Raccoon, he was like, I guess I'm just not or what did he say? Something hilarious. He was like, I guess I just don't get altitude sickness. And I was like, you're so lucky. So he was fine, but I think Chief also was feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, that reminds me. We need to interview Raccoon. That's going to be...
Oh.
He had a great reason for being out there, and I think that could be impactful for a lot of folks.
Yeah, and he's just like the wisest 19. Him and Chief both were like these like little wise young old men. You know what I mean? Like they're like the weirdest 19-year-olds because they remind me so much of like an older, wiser person. I don't even know. Like they were the coolest kids.
They were young old souls for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I just loved, like, at one point it was just me and those two hiking, and it was just kind of like my brothers or something, you know? So that will be a good podcast for sure to have them on.
It will be, yeah. After Whitney was Forester, which is the highest point on the PCT. Yeah. You can't tell me you weren't post-holing going down Forester.
Oh my God, that's the first. I literally thought I was going to post-hole into like an alternate dimension. Like, I hated when you would look at the like snow and it had that like turquoise vibe, or you know what I'm talking about? Like that glacier looking.
Oh yeah.
Blue,
you walk on white, you don't walk on blue.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, I'm going to fall into another universe. And I post-holed the whole way down, like, and then I actually went like this wrong way because I was following other people, and it ended up having to rock climb down this cliff, and I don't know how to rock climb, and that's when I met Energizer. Do you guys know who that is?
No.
Oh my God, he's a hilarious dude. He's from, I don't know if it was like Denmark or something. I can't remember where he's from. He's gonna kill me if he hears this and I got it wrong, but he's super cool, that guy, and he helps me climb down because he's way more experienced in like climbing and stuff than I am. But yeah, going down Forester, my first like, okay, this is what it's like to post hole up to my waist. You know,
it's intimidating because if you don't get out quick enough, you start to freeze in.
Yeah, and you know, I think I heard that you guys did Basecamp post hole pretty bad there. Or...
Oh God, we all post hole down it. It was Optimus who had the hardest time.
It was Optimus. Oh my gosh, I feel
yeah.
Is that it? Really was bad.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting interview whenever we get to Forester.
Oh yeah, I don't think there was any good way down Forester. Like that's what I told people. Like they're like, which way should I go? I'm like, I don't know. Like I felt like no matter which way you went, you had some kind of problem.
I think my biggest regret on Forester is not putting on pants. I did it in shorts, and my ass was scraped up.
Oh, I heard. What's the girl's name that got like? They called her Road Rash, I think, after Forester.
What?
Yeah,
I don't think I ever met her.
I think she like glissaded and it like ripped her pants.
Oh.
And, like, she had like scrapes all down her legs. It was bad.
There were some pretty bad rocks underneath that snow that you just couldn't see.
Oh man, I know. I feel like again I got luckier than most people, and maybe it's taking my time. And I mean we did that thing at like 7 a.m. like super early. Maybe not 7. It was like 6. It was like right when the sun came up. But even then, it was already melting. Like it was, you know, it was just not a good time to go.
Yeah, we descended Forester at 8 a.m. and we regretted it immediately.
Yeah, it was pretty quickly slushy during the day.
And we did that like a week or a week and a half before you did.
Oh yeah, that's right, huh? Y'all went a week before I did. Yeah, so it was probably even more slushy, but at least maybe a little less snow than y'all. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, we all started in March. We all anticipated going into the Sierras early May, which is supposed to be the secret season, basically meaning that you can walk on top of the snow because the temperatures are below freezing and the snow is not melting underneath your feet. But unfortunately, that was not the case for us.
No, not at all. Like, that doesn't sound at all like my experience.
No. What was your Sierra experience?
So, for one, just as far as the scenery, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like, it felt like I was in a fantasy world all the time, like Lord of the Rings type shit, you know? Like, just the coolest scenery I've ever seen, but also the hardest, probably the most stress I've ever put on my body. I just remember like waking up and going to bed, like from that I was just exhausted. By the time I get to camp, I had only energy to set up my camp, eat, and then pass out. But
were you waking up early to kind of beat the slush?
Oh yeah, so I did when I went through I was by myself for like 6 out of I don't even remember how many passes there were, but like 75% of the pass I was by myself on, and I woke up for John Muir, which is like a post-hole hill.
Oh, it's so bad.
I camped like 2 miles from the top of it, and I woke up at like 3 a.m. and did it mostly in a headlamp. Like, I got to the hut right when the sun was coming up, and I'm so thankful I did, because as soon as I went, I like did not post hole but like a couple times, like leaving that place, and it was like a 7-mile snow stretch, you know.
I do remember that. And you're like hiking, you're post holing. You're not hiking. You're post holing through all these alpine lakes.
Oh yeah. And it just, post holing just takes all of your energy, because it's like you're putting in 100% effort and getting like nothing back. So it just consumes everything you have. It's just horrible.
Yeah. I mean, spikes don't do you any good.
No. I just remember being like, I hate snow.
Yeah.
Like by the end of the Sierras. I was like, when is the snow going to be over?
Was Muir Pass the most difficult one for you, or which one was?
The scariest pass for me, which is funny because Deuces told me this was going to be the scariest, and it was the one that people weren't talking about.
Was it Glen?
Yeah, Glen.
Oh, I hated Glen.
It's just an intimidating view when you get up, and it's got that like that just sheer kind of what do you call it? Just the face of it is just so like steep to me. It's like an ice wall. I don't know.
It was a sheer drop.
It's a sheer drop. Yeah. Like, to me, that's the only time where I felt like I was walking completely like, well, no, Mather was a little bit scary, but to me, Glen was more scary than Mather.
Yeah.
I think people hyped Mather more than what it was.
I mean, Mather could be difficult if you hadn't been in the snow for the last 2 weeks.
True.
But by that point, you're kind of acclimated to it.
Yeah, so what scared me about Mather is I actually felt like that was the first time I really, well, not the first time, but because I think Glen as well, like the ice axe was just crucial. But I mean, Mather was like where I was feeling like I might actually have to whip that bad boy, like, and use it, like, more than just holding it, you know?
Yeah.
And just the scramble, the change up between rock scrambling ice on Mather was interesting. But it was kind of fun. Like, it went by really quickly because you're so concentrated, you know?
It was kind of just like a climb up. It was steep, but once you're going, you're there in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, and you're just so proud of yourself. Like, I just remember feeling like that was my like biggest mental challenge, because for some reason all the people I met in Bishop that had gone through, and then like they had gone through that section already, like Mather and everything, and they had like gone back into Bishop, and they were just like saying it was like death defying and all this like scary stuff, and I was just like, I'm gonna die on Mather Pass. And I got to Mather and I was like, okay, I'm kind of glad they hyped it up, because then I think when I got there, I was like, okay, it wasn't as bad as what they said, but I mean, it was still scary, you know?
Yeah, the unsung villain was definitely Glen.
Yes! I was like, people should have been talking about Glen. That shit was crazy. My videos looked so crazy with that one.
We had to do Glen right after it had snowed, so we woke up, we couldn't see a boot pack. Did you have that same experience?
No, and I would have, if I wouldn't have seen a boot pack, I don't know what I would have done. I would have waited for people, probably.
It took us 3 hours to get down Glen.
Oh my gosh, that would have scared me. Like, there was a nice boot track to follow, and that was so important for me, I think. It gave me confidence.
Did Deuces tell you what happened to him?
He probably did. Now I forgot, though. What happened?
Oh, he was like belly sliding down that sucker. He had to self-arrest 3 or 4 times.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm like, I didn't have to self-arrest at all on trail, and I'm just so thankful, because I probably would have, like, I don't know, like, stabbed myself with my ice pick on accident. I don't even know.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing out there, it can be dangerous, but you had all the right equipment, and it sounds like you've done your research.
Yeah, I definitely did try to practice a little bit while I was out there, and I really did take it seriously. Like, I didn't go through the passes without an ice axe or without crampons. Like, I had that shit ready, you know, and I tried to do the passes in the morning. Like, I wasn't taking any chances.
Seriously, it was worth the wait having spikes and an ice axe with you, wasn't it?
100%, no doubt. Even if you
never use it, you know you got it.
Exactly, like just having it. Actually, I wish I wouldn't have. I sent my ice axe home. I kept my spikes, but I sent my ice axe home. What was Sonora Pass for you guys?
Sonora Pass was unexpected. We weren't expecting that much snow at that point, and you start to climb up towards the pass, and you see these giant, like, sheets of white where the sides of the mountain are still covered. Yeah. And there are switchbacks that look extremely sketchy going up it.
Yeah.
Or there's the boot pack that goes from the bottom straight up to the top with no switchbacks, and you just hike along the ridge at the top, which is what we did. I think the descent on Sonora was probably harder for us, man. It was rough. I think we had met this guy named Bigfoot, and we had camped up on one of the ridges, because for those listening, Sonora Pass isn't the climb, it's not the descent. Sonora Pass is a road, but you got to climb up a mountain, traverse a ridge, and then go down to get to the road, which is the pass. And we were glissading probably most of that descent with Bigfoot, and it was fun. But it also could have been deadly.
Did y'all have your ice axes?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think if I had any advice, it's like, it's worth the carry. Like, your pack doesn't feel any better with like 1 pound gone. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I would have kept it longer. I don't think I would have been as scared going down Sonora Pass, but I didn't have that equipment, and it was just like horrendous to go down without. So
it kind of felt like a different world, didn't it? Whenever we were doing Sonora, I was like, this feels like a snapshot from Iceland.
Yeah.
It's just these barren black mountains.
Yeah. No, this definitely, like, it's different than the Sierras. I mean, I know it's all the Sierras, but like the rock is different. You know, it's not the granite.
Yeah, it's more volcanic is what it feels like.
Yep. Absolutely.
But after you get down Sonora, you're more or less scot-free to Kennedy Meadows North, which is the end of the Sierra section.
I know, and it's like, it was like this crazy thing where I felt from there super confident that I could do the rest of the trail. You know what I mean? It was always the Sierras in my mind, which I don't know why. I don't know if that's just like people building up, but I mean, it really was one of the most technical parts of the trail.
Yeah.
And I just felt a really big weight off my shoulders, and like I felt like I could do the rest of the trail physically and mentally. It was just, I think the challenge of the rest of the trail is just doing the mileage. You know, like another however many miles it was like still another 1,500 miles from there. You're not even halfway done.
Yeah, it's like a job. You've been through the training by that point. You've sucked it up. You figured everything out, and now you're just putting your head down and working the days out.
Exactly.
Until Washington, of course.
Oh my God, I know, right? Washington's like, okay.
Yeah. So in Kennedy North, what gear are you dropping at this point? What food are you still adamant that you have to have in your bear bag? Is it still Spam? What's your pack look like?
You know, when I was going through the Sierras, my food definitely changed, where I just tried to have like everyone tries to do calorie dense, but I mean, I was even more so efficient with packing like calorie dense foods. Like most of what I ate in the Sierras was like tortilla with peanut butter and Nutella, and I would just eat that like 3 times a day, which is like, obviously, like, don't follow my advice. Just if I'm explaining what I did, that's what I did. And then once I got rid of the bear can at Kennedy Meadows North, I just knew, you know, I wouldn't have the same. I was doing 9-day stretches in the Sierras. So
those are huge carries.
Oh yeah, no, it was insane because I wasn't very fast, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing 9-day carries. I mean, my pack was like, I think it was like I weighed at like 42 or something stupid. And so Kennedy Meadows North was like the relief section where it's like, I don't have to do 9-day carries anymore. I don't need to carry a bear can, and I can like eat Spam again, you know.
Yeah.
All the things started getting better, and I started spending a little bit more money on like those prepackaged foods, just because I was
the dehydrated meals.
Yeah, I kind of started like, I was being really frugal at first, and then I started like, you know, sometimes it's just worth it. Getting rid of the bear can was just so relieving though.
What was your favorite dehydrated meal brand?
You know, I don't know about brand, but my favorite meal was the spaghetti one by Mountain House.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I really like that one. The chicken, I think there was like chicken pesto by, was it Fuel?
Oh, Peak Refuel.
Peak Refuel. Oh, that's a treat. That's a treat.
I'm telling you, they have the biggest bang for the buck.
Yeah.
The most calories in those meals.
Yeah, they do. So yeah, those are my 2 favorites.
Are you dropping out any gear in Kennedy at this point other than the bear can? Like, you dip in your spikes too, or your heavy jackets? What are you doing there?
No one should ever take advice from me on what I packed, because I carried my spikes, I think, the whole trail just because I didn't care. And then I think I kept my layers because it was still cold at that point.
Yeah.
At some point I did mail home like some of my layers that I added on like in Kennedy Meadows South. I added like some thermals, and then I sent them back like at some point. I don't remember exactly when. I didn't really drop much gear because I didn't really add a ton of gear. Just my ice axe and some layers, and that's it. Bear camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you take boots into the Sierras or just your trail runners?
Just my good old Hokas, man. I was just
You did.
out there living on a prayer. I'm telling you, I didn't know what I was doing half the time.
Well, I mean, people swear by using breathable trail runners in the Sierras, even in the snow, because they dry quick.
They did.
I guess there are two schools of thought: boots versus trail runners in the snow.
It's like if it's this, I don't know. I think it just depends on your year too, right? Like this year, I can't. Like, what are your thoughts on the snow levels this year for people going through the Sierras? Like, do they have to skip?
Insane. They can skip, but where they're going to skip up to, it's still going to be covered in snow right now.
Is it possible to go through it right now? Like, will they close it? Like, I don't even know if this is for the podcast. I just want to know.
That's a good question. The PCTA made a post, I think it was yesterday or today, talking about exercising safety, flip-flopping where necessary. But you get into issues with that because if you have the PCTA permit, the all-encompassing permit, and you flip, then you have to get individual permits for the parks you're going to hike through.
Oh my God.
And that doesn't even address the fact that there's still snow all up the West Coast on the PCT right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I don't know what they're going to do, but they're up to their gills in snow as it is. And who knows what it's going to look like because there may still be more storms.
Yeah, and I'm curious what their options are. Like, because I think about myself, if I would have gone this year instead, I don't know what I would have done because, I met that girl on trail who hiked in 2011. And that was one of the record-breaking years. And she said at the top of Mather, they had to dig a hole through a cornice. Is that what it's called? Like an ice cornice or whatever?
Yeah, so a cornice is whenever you have like snow, slush, ice buildup, and it's starting to build up and over itself and hang off of a ledge.
Yeah.
And it can just snap off or create an avalanche.
Yeah, so I guess they had to dig a hole through that because they were all climbing over it, and she was like, I guess she couldn't do it. And so they dug a hole through it for her. And I'm thinking, okay, well, this year has broken that record by far. So how is it possible to do? I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but I mean, for the average person like me, is it possible?
I'm thinking right now, if you don't have a whole lot of experience in the snow, you'd be looking at a much later start date.
Right? Like, that's got to be insane. Like, all the March starters, I would think you would have to definitely just push that back.
It's a really hard year because when you start later, you have more snowfall, which means more water, which hopefully means less likelihood of fires, but you still have that fire season. You're going to be hiking right through. And that's what a lot of people had issues with in 2022 was all the fires.
Yeah.
Made them skip or just hop off trail altogether.
Yeah.
So it's like this class of 2023 has a rough hike ahead of them.
They do. I'm excited to watch the vlogs. I feel like it's going to be really intense. But
I know. It's kind of like watching Survivor, isn't it?
It really is. And I'm like, I just want everyone to succeed because they have so much cool stuff ahead of them on it. Like, I just want everyone to hike the PCT once in their life,
I'm saying it's life-changing.
It is. And I know I'll get back to my experience. Sorry, but I just I'm blown
No, it's fine.
by
This is a good rabbit hole.
Yeah, like I'm blown away by what they're going to go through this year. Like, mad respect for everyone who does it.
Seriously. I think one thing I would suggest for people who are going to venture out, either look at crampons or snowshoes, depending on the conditions and the snowpack.
Yeah.
We took Catula crampons, which are similar to like mountaineering crampons, but they don't have the two front fangs. So they're 10 count fangs instead of 12. And we loved them. Some of the spots, like especially going down Glen, I don't know how we could have done that with just micro spikes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was scary.
It is scary. No, I remember being on Glen and I was like, micro spikes are not going to save me right now. I mean, I'm sure they helped me. Like, I wore them, but I'm saying I wish I would have had crampons in that situation.
Wouldn't it be great if you could just snap your fingers and swap out gear in the middle of the wilderness?
Yeah, this would be awesome. Like Hunger Games, they come in and drop you like a little parachute.
Oh, yeah, or like video games, where you just press the pause button and swap out equipment.
Oh, yeah, that would be just so great. Needed that a million times.
I'm saying.
So.
All right, so Kennedy North to what's the first town in Oregon?
So Kitty Meadows, yeah.
Is it Ashland?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think it's Ashland, Oregon. So yeah, so basically NorCal, the section of NorCal. I loved NorCal. I felt NorCal had a bad rep, and I'm here to set the record straight. NorCal,
The land of burn zones and down trees.
yeah, okay, yeah, that part did suck. Like Lassen area, it was kind of, obviously a little bit dead, but
Set the record.
I did enjoy like Hat Rim. I liked that part. Do you remember that?
Oh, the Hat Rim Trail was super exposed, no water.
I sound like I'm like the weirdest person. NorCal rocks. I enjoyed it. I feel like I enjoyed it too because it's like the pressure's off from being out of Sierras. It is hot. Like I will say, the heat starts setting in. That's like the time I was like, oh my, I'm starting to feel hot. Walking into Syed Valley was the hottest day I had on trail. It was like 100 degrees or something, and I felt really like I had like heat exhaustion for sure. And it was like there was nowhere to sit but outside. I think not people, but like what I didn't realize before trail is like, there's not always relief even in a town.
There's not.
Because we walked inside Valley and there's no air. Like, I mean, you're sitting there just in 109-degree heat. The best relief you have is the shade tree, and that just, it feels amazing. Like people, like shade tree was like a gift from God.
Yeah. What month and roundabout date were you in NorCal, particularly Syed?
I want to say
probably June something.
Yeah, I was thinking June.
It was. I remember that climb out of Syed Valley was hell on earth. We did it. We went through a lot of bushwhacking sections, but we didn't get any poison ivy. The only issue we had is base camp really slows down and dehydrates quickly in the heat. More so than me, so we struggled a lot with the heat on her behalf. But other than that, we got away pretty scot-free on the Syed climb.
Well, Syed Valley was definitely the hottest day I had on trail by far, and the fire happened like 2 days when I was out of there. Like literally, I barely beat the fire. So I actually crossed the Oregon-California border the day before it got closed.
Oh man.
Yeah. Or maybe it was like 2 days before it was like right under the wire. Like I walked into Ashland and it was just like raining ash. So it was like, I don't know, on brand with its name. I don't know. So it was crazy. And then we went to this big brewery that was in Ashland, and it was so hot that their air conditioner couldn't keep up, and people inside were sweating because their AC units aren't built for that type of heat. You know what I mean? It's just
they're not.
It's just a bizarre heat wave that can't come through, and I think it's just kind of like the nature of global warming.
I think you're right.
So,
what's your high and low from NorCal?
Low was probably just the heat and inside. I mean, it really was like I was so sick that day from the heat. High, I really enjoyed the section. I also hit that, that crazy storm that you guys hit and Gup hit it too, like right after Tahoe.
Oh yes. Where are we going? What's in that crap? The pass where the people ate each other.
Oh, Donner.
Donner Pass. That's it.
Yeah. So I was in that storm too, leaving Kenny Meadows North, I believe.
Okay.
And it was just like completely awful. Just awful.
That section leaving Kennedy North is pretty exposed.
Yeah, no, it was. It was just like, it was crazy winds and hail, and like all of our gear got wet. It was me and this other hiker who ended up being like my best friend, Kangaroo.
Okay.
And it was just like her tent was completely soaked. So, fun fact, I don't know if anyone knows this or talks about it, but what is the name of the tent I have? So I ended up using a Z-Pack for most of the time, but my friend had the other one, Big Agnes, right?
Uh-huh.
So Big Agnes, I had Big Agnes, but it broke like on day 40, so I switched out for my Z-Pack, thank God. Big Agnes, even if you buy a footprint with it, they are not waterproof.
Really?
They're not. And I mean, I swear that everyone in like Razor had a Big Agnes, Kangaroo had a Big Agnes, and if it rained, those things were wet inside and out. It was bad. Like the flooring is not waterproof. It dries really fast, but that doesn't help when it's raining.
No, it doesn't. I think what that trail taught me is that nothing is waterproof. Everything is just different levels of water resistant.
That's true. I feel like the Z-Packs are pretty waterproof, but I still like it still gets in because it has like the netting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the flooring of the Z-Pack, we had to go into my one-person tent because it's like a tarp, so it wasn't getting under. But I agree, like the wind and everything, it was like blowing in water. But just the craziest storm ever. That was probably one of the lows. But we had so much fun just being miserable together, like trauma bonding again, that it ended up being like a high-low at the same time. So
that's funny you say that about Big Agnes. We bought a Big Agnes tent outside of White Pass. We got a hitch into Seattle and bought it, and we didn't really have to camp in the rain from White Pass to Canada, so we lucked out, so we didn't have to experience that.
Nice, good.
Yeah, we got lucky, but we had a Nemo for most of the trail.
Yeah, you guys had a freaking awesome tent. I remember.
Oh, it was huge.
It was great.
I think we'll probably try out a Z-Pack on our next hike that we both do together. I
totally recommend it. To me, it's like not a luxurious tent. Like, it's very basic, but I'm telling you, those things, I had a great experience with my Z-Pack tent. I liked my Big Agnes more for again, it had like more pockets and just like, I don't know, I like that it had poles because sometimes putting the stakes, if you're like, in the Sierras, it's like granite everywhere, so it's kind of hard to put stakes in the ground. You have to find rocks. So I liked the Big Agnes in that sense, but at the end of the day, like the Z-Pack was a lot more like utility. It just worked better. It didn't fail me. Whereas the Big Agnes broke. At the end of the day, too, like, I feel like tent choice and all that, gear choice is so personal. Like, what I like, someone else is not going to like. And it's all about your experience, right? Like, Big Agnes broke, and I'm like, I hate Big Agnes. I don't hate him, but I'm like, not Big Agnes. But honestly, I hike with people who their Z-Pack zipper broke, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess it's like equipment dependent as well. And how rough you are with your stuff.
That is so true. Because the time when my Big Agnes broke, it was really cold, and I felt like my poles, it like kind of had something to do with the weather. I don't know.
Not surprised. I do want to pick your brain on gear towards the end of this too.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, NorCal was great, and then hitting Oregon. Oregon was interesting to me. I think Oregon is when I started feeling I'm kind of getting bored. Did that ever happen to you guys?
Yeah, we felt that a little bit in NorCal. They call it NorCal blues, and we definitely experienced it.
Yeah, mine was delayed into Oregon, and I don't know why. Like, Oregon is kind of when I was like, all right, I'm like bored. I wasn't loving Oregon like everyone else was. The mosquitoes were horrendous. It was hot. The water sources were also very difficult. It's very dry. And the water sources that did exist were like ponds. It was gross. And I just have this video, one of my vlogs. It's like I scooped up water in the middle of the night, and the next day, I'd been drinking it that night, and the next day I looked at it, and there's this huge like wasp bug or something I had scooped up. And it's so gross.
That's an under-discussed topic, is water carries in Oregon.
Oh, I know. And like, Gup told me before he got trial, he's like, Oregon's going to be drier than you think. And I'm so glad he told me that, because but then it still was shocking despite knowing that, because in my mind, I had this idea that Oregon had more water sources, and it doesn't.
I guess when I thought of Oregon, I thought of like old growth forest, kind of rainy, but maybe that's closer to the coast than we were.
Absolutely. I think we were in the high desert side. Like,
oh, we were.
It was not, I don't know. I felt like Oregon to me was hiking in between really exciting points, but the in-between wasn't great. Like, I loved Crater Lake. I thought that was like also fairy tale type stuff. Like, your mind, it's like looking at the Grand Canyon, right? Like, your mind almost can't process what you're looking at. I was ahead of most fires. The only fire, no, I wasn't, because Lion's Head closure was still closed when I got there, and so was Wind Gap, which was right before. So right after Crater Lake, there was a section of trail closed to, what is that little resort that everybody goes to?
Shelter Cove.
Shelter Cove. It was closed all the way to Shelter Cove. So I had to miss that part.
I think the only good thing about that fire is that was probably the densest mosquito population that we hiked through. So.
Oh, nice. I missed that? Oh, thank God.
Yeah, you missed that at least. Not saying the fire was good by any means, but you skipped the mosquitoes.
Dude, oh my God. There was one point in the Yosemite area, I had really bad mosquitoes, like where you would see clouds of them. And I was like, what is that black cloud? And I got there. I was like, oh my God, it's mosquitoes. And I was like running and setting up my tent. I like texted my dad on my Garmin. And I was like, the mosquitoes will be the thing that breaks me. And I was so mad at the mosquitoes. So I'm grateful then if it was like that bad, because for my nights.
There were times that Basecamp would ask me if she had mosquitoes on her, and I would just tell her not to stop moving.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop, if you go under like 3 miles per hour, they catch you.
Oh, they're on it. I like
Uh-huh.
work here a lot of the time despite being like completely hot and sweating.
Oh, the rain gear is the best fix for mosquitoes.
100%. It's worth the dying of heat exhaustion underneath.
Yeah, it's kind of like training for base camp. Or,
Yeah.
or basic training. That's it.
No, I knew you meant. Totally it is. It
Yeah.
really.
So you had to skip a few sections.
I
You
did.
skipped Lion's Head and you said Wind Gap.
Yeah, the Wind Gap closure. Yep. Those are the two that I had to miss. And then at the very end of trail, I also didn't get to hit the terminus.
Oh, okay. We definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah, it was.
So you skipped past Lion's Head closure, and did you keep going from like government camp, or where did you pick back up?
I went before government camp. Oh my gosh, I went right before Timberland. Is that right before government camp?
Frog Lake is like where the trail picks up.
That's
government camp is just the next closest town.
Okay, Frog Lake is where we got back on.
So you got a big hitch.
Yeah, it was
up
big.
That highway. Okay.
80-mile like closure or something. No, it was like 60 miles, but then you couldn't get into trail via vehicle before Frog Lake.
Yeah.
Something complicated, which honestly I'm a little bit upset. Like, I'm not trying to like name names, but like, why wouldn't they open that? It opened like 2 weeks after I passed there.
Yeah, it's pretty aggravating how that all transpired. A lot of hikers just had to pay $150 to get a hitch up north.
Yeah, it was nuts. And it's just like crazy to me because it just didn't seem like it should have been closed. And I think I missed Mount Hood in there. Obviously, because it was, that was part of like the closed section. And it just sucks because I ultimately do want to go back one day. And I have like these weird like but all my sections missed were pretty much in Oregon besides that last bit of trail 2 to the terminus. But again, I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I still got to do like Timberline Lodge or whatever it's called, which was really cool.
Oh, Timberline's, you can see Hood from Timberline.
Yeah, that was cool. I really enjoyed that. So I still got to experience like the highlights of Oregon. And I got to see Eagle Creek.
Oh, the Eagle Creek Spur Trail was so beautiful.
That was so cool. Loved it.
The Tunnel Falls.
Yeah. Yep. Tunnel Falls. So cool.
Did you do a 24-hour challenge in Oregon?
I never did a 24-hour challenge. I didn't even hit. I think the closest I got one night was I was with Razor and she wanted to hit 30 miles and I got to 29 and a half. And I was like, there was a water source. I was like, I want to camp here. And she was like, but we're half a mile from hitting 30. You want to hit 30? And I was like, no. I was like, I'm going to camp here.
You're like, we can round up to 30.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was just like the least motivated hiker out there. So no, I never did a challenge or anything like that. I think I would have died. I don't even know if I could have done a 24-hour like staying awake that long. Did y'all do one?
We did one and it felt completely useless.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we started at around lunchtime, and by the time we were at 45 or so miles, we hit the split for Elk Lodge, and we took a 3-hour nap. And then we woke up, and we were able to get like another couple miles or something in. And we hit right at 50, and the rest of the day, we might have gotten 5 more miles. So if we had just slept a good night's rest the night before, we would have gotten the same amount of mileage and been less tired. Yeah, at least we got some bragging rights on that. But people have done like 60 and 70 miles in a 24-hour, and that was not happening for us.
So,
Kurt, we missed you.
Yeah, I think I'm back, but I may still have my 1 to 2 minute segments, but we'll see what's up.
See, we didn't tell you this, but we scheduled it that way for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, April's kicking you off on demand is what she's doing. She's hitting
I still don't have the little green button next to my name, but who knows what that is? I don't know.
Huh. Yours is looking okay right now, but we'll see.
It says you're connected on my end.
Okay, well, that's good then. Oh, maybe that's the way it works.
Yeah. Well, what did Cascade mean for you?
Walking into Cascade Locks was huge because Bridge of the Gods is obviously like an iconic, point on the PCT, and just obviously from the movie Wild, it's very, very notable, and it's just bigger too in person when you see it. Like the Columbia River is just massive, and I had never seen it, so it was huge. It was a really good feeling to know that I was on my final state. And Washington, I have friends in that area that I was looking forward to seeing, and all just the state in general was always like number one on my list, even though I think now hindsight, like California might have took the cake, but Washington was epic. Like getting there was cool. And one thing I forgot to mention so far on the podcast is really like, I also view the PCT as like in sections of like friendships. And so one of my closest friends on trail was Kangaroo, and I hiked with her from basically like Any Meadows North up until Crater Lake, and I had to say goodbye to her at Crater Lake because she was only doing a section, and she did a big section. She did like half the trail, but very emotional. She's a really good friend of mine still to this day. And then from Crater Lake on, for basically the rest of my experience, I hiked a lot with Razor, Cascade Locks. I hiked into Cascade Locks with Razor, and that was really cool.
Oh, that's right, because Razor and Tumbleweed were hiking together, and at some point they separated. And is that when Razor started hiking with you?
Yep. Ashland, Oregon is when Razor started hiking with us.
Gotcha.
It's
Were you similar hiking speeds, or one did you have to accommodate for the other?
We were similar. Yes, I would say she probably hiked faster uphill. Not probably. She was faster going uphill, and I was faster downhill. And I don't know what there is about that. Like, she told me that she thinks it's like a glute dominant thing. Like, maybe I'm glute dominant, and so going down is always like I could run down mountain, but going up, hell no.
I get it.
Yeah.
Did you cover the almost good second trail name for you that she mentioned?
No, okay, we were gonna gloss over that one, but now I have to say it.
What?
Yeah, so this was around.
It was funny.
It is funny. So Razor had a second trail name for me, right around Crater Lake.
A temporary one, yeah.
Yeah, it was like very pedestrian area, right? Like lots of people can just drive in and see Crater Lake, so it doesn't even feel like trail necessarily. But anyways, we were hiking, and I was like, I've got to go to the bathroom, and I kept trying to wait for like a moment we're back in the wilderness, you know. And it's really like a public trail kind of. And so finally I see like a grouping of trees, and I'm just like, I have to go right now. I throw my backpack down and I just run. And she goes, run, Forrest, run. And then when I get back, she wanted to name me Forrest Dump.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
I know. I was like, this is so good. But I already am thankful for my other trail name because I don't want to be called Forrest Dump.
If you ever do another trail, will you still use Roy G, or will you adopt a new one?
No, I think I would use Roy G. It's like completely my persona now. Like I make people at work call me Roy G. It's not even, it didn't end with trail. It's like forever now. I'm just going to change my name.
Roy G, a.k.a. Forrest Dump, a.k.a. April.
Yeah, exactly. In that order. So.
Thank you, Razor, for that name. Wherever
I know.
you are.
So good.
It is. Oh, we lost Kurt again, too.
That's fine. I think he's just going to yo-yo back on. But yeah, Washington, you know what I thought was shocking about Washington, which you can tell me what you thought, was the first section, the Washington, was like not super pleasant. It was kind of like dense forest and very hot and muggy. And I don't know, it was just kind of like, I had brought a friend out from Texas who hiked from Cascade Locks to White Pass.
Yeah.
And I was kind of at first like, oh my God, like this isn't as great as I thought it was going to be for her. But then you kind of get out of that after Trout Lake and you get to Goat Rocks. And oh my God, my favorite day on trail down was Knife's Edge.
I think that's a lot of people's favorite day. It was wonderful.
It's so hard to beat. Like the scenery is just out of this world.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. I was expecting something different after Cascade Locks. I mean, I didn't expect the other side of the Columbia to be completely different, old growth, like cool green Washington forest or Cascades. Right. I knew there would be a transition, but it was just big climbs, humid, muggy, tropical plants, and we were sticky and everything was wet for days.
Oh, absolutely. And I got stung by so many bees. I got stung by 2 different bees in the same day in the same place in my arm. It was just weird. And so walking to Trout Lake, I was like, what the heck is going on with Washington? I was like, this is not what I thought.
It's not supposed to be this. It's supposed to be the Cascades.
Exactly. I was like, what the heck is happening? And then the day of the Goat Rocks, I was like, okay. Or of Knife's Edge specifically in the Goat Rocks and Sisyphus Pass. Like that was just like, oh my gosh, it doesn't get better than that.
It doesn't. And it looks like Mount St. Helens and Adams and Rainier are just copy and pasted on the backdrop. They don't look real.
No, it doesn't look real. It's it's nuts. Like I want to just go back and rehike that section.
Honestly, that's a good like week-long stretch right there. At what point did Kurt join?
So he joined me. At Stevens Pass. So I did Snoqualmie to Stevens Pass with Razor, which I thought was probably like maybe one of the most challenging sections of the PCT. I don't know if you remember that. It's like you climb out of Snoqualmie and it's like that shale, that rock shale, like I don't know, for like miles it felt like.
It's like Alpine Lake Park or Forest or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was really beautiful, but extremely like tough climbs. And then we met my dad in Stevens Pass and we went into that German town. What was that called?
Oh, Leavenworth.
Leavenworth. Yeah, we stayed the night in Leavenworth with my parents, and that was really fun. And then we were just ahead of the fire that closed Stevens Pass. My dad, Razor, and I hiked out of Stevens Pass together. And the same day we were hiking out of Stevens Pass, they closed it like right behind us.
God. So it's so crazy to think about because when we hiked through it, probably a week and a half before you, there was water everywhere.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, and it was just crazy how we kept being like a day ahead of fires. Like I just felt so lucky. I kept getting right ahead of them. So we didn't miss any until, the very end of trail. But I had found out at the end of Oregon that they had closed the last 25 miles of trail, to the border due to the kid fire. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of had a feeling that wasn't going to open back up. So it was a little bit like sad because hiking into, from Stevens Pass to Stehekin is kind of like, man, I'm not, am I going to get to touch Terminus? Then you get to Stehekin, which Stehekin, oh my God, another blows your mind type place. So beautiful. That's when my dad left and, knowing I only had one more section. I only had I don't even remember how many miles left. It wasn't very much to the border, but also knowing I wasn't going to hit the border. It just sucks because I made it so far. And I know that the last 20 miles isn't it's not like I failed, it was closed, but you hike so far to hit the border and it was taken away from you. I mean, I cried. It was very emotional.
I don't blame you. I mean, people had not skipped a beat the entire way there, or they've done whatever they've done their entire hike. You get there, your whole life has changed for the last 5 to 6 months. And just to have something completely out of your control stop you, that has to be crushing.
Oh, it was. And, what kind of surprised me, and, no judgment to anyone who decided on this, but there were people who actually just quit when they found out. Even though we were far, we were in North Oregon, and there was people in Washington who, when they were waiting for it to open, and the closer they got, and with it not opening, they just decided to quit. People at Stevens Pass, there were so many people in Leavenworth that quit because they heard of the fires that was about to close Stevens Pass. We just went back on and tried to beat it. Yeah. So many people just quit right there. Which, again, I'm not judging them, but I was like, well, I'm going to hike what I can. I came here to hike as many open miles as I can, and that's ultimately what I did. But I don't blame them for the heartbreak, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's almost like you feel so defeated.
Yeah. Were those people quitting? Were they also folks that had been forced to jump ahead because of the other fires?
Yes. So I'm sure you experienced this. The bubble that was created from those fires was nuts. I was always a day or two ahead of fire, so the bubble would always jump right to where I was.
Yeah.
A ton of them had already missed a lot of trail where I'd only missed the couple places in Oregon. A lot of them had missed that huge NorCal section that got closed. Mm-hmm. I think they were just tired of it. That's what they kept saying. They're we're tired of having to figure out logistics. And I'm like, yeah, but this is your last one, and getting out of Hart's Pass was kind of difficult. I guess for some people, I don't really know what all their motives were, but yeah, a lot of people stopped in Leavenworth, which is sad. I was just especially when I got to Stehekin, we were the only hike there from the PCT practically. Really? And yeah, pretty much Razor and I were by ourselves on trail. It was weird. It was kind of trail was over and no one told us.
And this was what time?
I ended trail in September 22nd, I believe.
Okay, so towards the end of September.
Yeah. So we were pushing it to the wire, but I mean, it was kind of perfect. We had almost everything to ourselves. It was really awesome.
That's actually kind of nice.
It really was. Because man, coming out of Cascade Locks, I hit Cascade Locks when it was that big festival, PCT days.
Yeah.
And then people had to skip for the fire. So it was this ultimate humongous bubble that formed. So I was happy when I kind of got out of that. And so the second half of Washington, I felt like very much like just in Razor.
So I'll be honest about this, and I want to ask you how you felt about it. When we first had the bubble jump on top of us, it was around Government Camp, so Frog Lake area. All the campsites were taken by Trout Lake in Washington. You know, you couldn't even get to the resupply station and get a good resupply because all the stock had been taken.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we were really pissed off because it felt unfair, and it felt like we weren't supposed to be experiencing that. And we knew it was unfair to the people who had to skip ahead too. But at that time, we didn't care. But the more we started talking to those folks, we realized that they were not a statistic, but they were other hikers just like us. And we started to empathize.
Yes.
Did that happen to you too?
Yeah, I mean, it's natural. I think we're like in survivalism mode too, right? Where it's like you kind of don't care about other people. You're just trying to kind of like get on with your own hike and like take care of yourself mentality.
Yeah.
And so people started taking campsites. Like one day I had to push like an extra like 6 miles just to find a campsite. It was nuts.
Yeah.
And and I experienced a lot of the same thing. Like it was just hard to get rides because there's like a million other people trying to get a ride into a town. And yeah, this kind of like, man, like why did y'all skip up? Because I guess there were some times where I had to like keep myself in check because like especially at Cascade Locks, a lot of people had skipped up just for PCT days. And instead of going back to like where they had left off, they just like started from Cascade Locks, which I don't care. Like for real, hike your own hike. But in the moment, like it's hard not to be like, go back to where you came from. like, so
we're
yeah,
like, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah. It's frustrating for sure. But then there were also the people who just got forced up because of fires. And that's definitely like, I definitely empathize with them because me, like at the end, you know, and it just sucks. It just sucks.
It does. And I mean, I don't think that I'll ever be able to understand what they felt until something like that happens to me. I hope it never does, but
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, our hearts went out to him for sure.
But yeah, it's a little harder for me to sympathize with the people who just skip to have a good time. When like that sounds like I'm being bitter, but I just mean like I don't know. Those are the ones I was more frustrated with, I guess.
Oh, I know what you mean. We would see like we got off. I forget the name of the pass, but we went to a town called Markleyville, and these 3 hikers asked this trail angel if she would drive them up to Tahoe. That's like a 100-mile stretch.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, just to go and have a fun time. You know, again, hike your own hike. I could talk about skippers and yellow blazers all day.
Right. Oh, what's funny is like I was on trail and I was like, when we say hike your own hike, we're just really meaning like fuck off. Like hike your own hike, I guess. Like I would say that sometimes being funny, like not really fuck off to these people, but I'm just saying like I would like say it sometimes and I would just be like, I don't know actually in my mind what I meant by that. So
it's kind of like in the South whenever we say bless.
Yeah. It
depends on how you say it.
Exactly, yeah. But no, I totally agree. Like, it really is, like, hike your own hike. Like, ultimately, when I, like, rationalize it in my mind and, like, set aside my initial reaction of anger, I'm like, okay, I don't care that they're here. It's just that, like, I feel like my needs are harder to be met when they're here. So it's not, like, personal. You know what I mean? It just makes things more difficult.
It does.
So.
Roy, did you ever get to the border? I believe you did.
I didn't get like to the Canadian border. We went to Harts Pass, and then the furthest we could go from Harts Pass was like it was like another 10 miles, which is where they officially closed trail. Ran into a ranger, like they were like monitoring, you know.
Yeah, they were.
So you know, people ask me like, why didn't you go through? And it's like I don't know, maybe because I'm a rule follower, a little bit because I heard people were behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't want to be that person who had to get like helicoptered out because I like chose to go on, or I don't know.
Yeah. Did you ever think about doing a reroute to the border?
Yeah, I think there was people who like kayaked Ross Lake to the border. I definitely thought about that. And then there was something else that was really long.
Oh, a reroute from Harts through Mazama.
Yeah, it was something crazy. And at that point, I was like, you know, I really didn't come here to like hike these weird miles that really aren't PCT miles. Like, it was never really about like hitting the border for me. It's just the experience of PCT. And without the terminus, it didn't matter. Like, I wasn't gonna like get to the border and be like, I hit the border. I really wanted that terminus. I don't know. Yeah. It was like the iconic terminus that was pulling me on. Without that, I just didn't feel like there was like this drive for me to like hike an extra 100 miles side. I don't know. It was devastating because there were other options, but to me it just wasn't like aligned with what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever go back and do those sections that you had to skip over or get to the terminus?
I definitely think I'll go back. I don't think it's like a priority where I'm like going to try to do it in like the next year, but I have friends that live in Seattle, so it'd be pretty easy to go stay with them and then like rent a car and go up to Harts Pass, and just hike that last 30 miles or whatever that it was. I was thinking 30 there, 30 back to Harts Pass, but that wouldn't take too much for me, and it'd be a lot of fun. And plus, that area is freaking beautiful. Like, would love to.
Yes.
The ones in Oregon, I'm not like that excited to go back and hike, but at the same time, like, I do want to cover all the miles that I had to miss from the closure, so I think I will in my lifetime. Yes.
Kurt, you're here with us. There he went.
I'm glad you mentioned his name though, because I did want him to talk, and as soon as I see his name jump back in, I'll let him take it. Dad, you're back. Yeah. Will you give your opinion on what it was like seeing me in Washington versus the desert?
Yeah, I'll try. Like I said, sometimes I think I have like a 1 minute thing, so I'll try not to rush too fast, but I can always hop back on. Yeah, totally different hiker for sure. You and I guess it was Razor that was going with this. Y'all could just go up those 5-8 mile mountains up there in the Cascades without even breathing hard. I was pretty jealous as I was sweating every 20 yards as I was dying. Yeah. No, you guys, and you weren't scared anymore. You were kind of like really the typical grizzled veteran. No doubt.
Was it more physical observation, or was it mental, or was it a combination of the two that you noticed, Kurt?
With April?
Yeah.
Oh, it was both. Yeah, both.
He's gone.
Yeah. April, to that, here's a question: which one came first, physical strength or mental strength for you?
Oh, physical, 100%.
Do you think that led to you being more confident and having that mental fortitude?
Yes, but I always tell people that I think I underestimated my physical ability and I overestimated my mental ability.
Uh-huh. I think that's sage advice right there.
Yeah. I thought mentally, I was like, oh, I got this. I was like, I'm tough. Like, I can, like, even if it's going to be hard, but I can, my mind is powerful, blah, blah, blah. But I was worried. I was like, I'm not in that great of shape. Like, my body's like not, as like fit as some people's. But no, my body adjusted really quickly, and my mind was slower to adjust. So
for sure, I think you had to get through the Sierras to finally get your mind in a good space.
Yep, I agree. I think it was a lot of leading up to the Sierras, like not trusting myself until I conquered that, and then once I conquered the Sierras, I was kind of like, well, if that's like the ultimate, like test. Like I did really well. Not only did I do it, but I felt like it wasn't I'm not living through this snow year like everyone else, but I'm saying like I felt like confident because I didn't seem like I didn't feel like I had a hard time getting through the Sierras.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful and fun and challenging, but not in a way that was like miserable necessarily. It was hard. I mean, my dad probably is like, that's not what you told me.
No doubt.
Kurt, what was that first conversation between you and April once she got done?
Yeah, I think she was just relieved. I think she was kind of serene, like what's next after that long out there on the trail. She was just kind of like her mind was kind of blown. Like, now what? She had a hard time identifying her feelings.
I had a question for Dad. Dad, how would you compare the terrain of like Washington to like what you experienced in the desert? Oh,
he's gone.
He'll come back. So I think I really enjoyed his perspective when he got back on trail, because I think, especially, as we felt like we're in the desert, like, well, wow, this is hard, this is tough. And then you get to Washington and it's just even a different ball game, and he was like a good sounding board because he was like, oh, I got this. I can, is this alert?
Yeah, I got a little hurry there writing that in there, didn't I?
Hey, did you hear my question?
Yeah, no, well, I think that was about the perspective of the North. Yeah, no, it kicked my ass. I mean, it was like all the way up and then all the way down for like just a river and then right back up again. There was not much of a rest.
A lot longer climbs, like 5-mile climbs,
Oh, yeah. Didn't you compare? We thought the desert was tough because, we're from Texas where it's real flat.
Yeah. I feel like the only flat in Washington once you hit the Cascades or on Rocky Ridge traverses where it's just killing your feet.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I just felt like, I remember calling him in preparation for Washington. I just told him, I was like, hey, like, whatever you think was hard in the desert, like, this is triple times as hard. Like, don't drink beer only and not prepare for this. Like, try to get some training in before you get here. And he was like, oh, I got it, and he did do well. And he, especially for not having anything to train with in Texas, but he,
Yeah.
when he got there, like, yeah, this is like 10 times harder than the desert as far as just train.
Man, the Cascades are a kick in the junk,
Oh,
okay? I mean, we were all in shape by that point, and it was still hard.
oh yeah, it was hard. Like it was tough. It was a lot of climbing all the time, just straight up.
Once you finally finished and you got off trail and you got back into normal society, what did you do, and what have you been doing since then?
Yeah, so I got off trail and I did a little like mini vacay. I went back down to Sand Jack and I did that, but then after that, I went home and took a few. I think it was a couple weeks off before I started back to work. But I mean, I pretty much got right back into my job. They held my job for me. I was pretty lucky. Yeah, I just started working. But as far as like how I felt, it was very weird going back into society. And I think maybe it was Razor that said it like this, but it's like you kind of feel like you're living in a world where you're looking through a glass window, like you're back in your normal life, but it's like you're not ingrained yet. I don't know. It's kind of hard to pause your life at home for 6 months and come back because nothing stays the same. Like life goes on without you. And to like reintegrate was a little bit harder than I thought.
Yeah, have you gone through not to get too personal on this, but have you gone through a depressive state yet, or?
No, I mean, I definitely did. And it's like, I think I was mourning the fact that I can't live in like multiple worlds all the time. And I wrote my last Instagram post about this. And like, I just really, really feel like this is just probably what a lot of hikers go through. But it's the sense of like, I want to always be hiking a thru hike every summer. But
Uh-huh.
I also don't want to like miss out on my life at home. I want to be in two places at once all the time.
It feels like once you get back, it takes you months just to figure out what's happened, to get your
Oh, yeah.
finances back, to figure out inflation again.
Yeah. 100%. Or just, I don't know, I felt like kind of like an outsider in my own friends, and not like like they're not pushing me out. Just like you said, it just takes so much time to like catch up on what's happened in their lives.
It's true. And one thing that we've experienced is that, and not to discount anyone who's never done a big trail, but people who haven't done a big hike like this don't get it.
No.
They,
And
again, not to discount them, but you can express and explain everything that you went through, and they don't get it the same way.
I 100% agree. And sometimes I just feel like I'm annoying people when I talk about it that haven't done one, because it's like anything, unless you live through it, it's just hard for them to understand what you went through. And it's just, I can see their eyes glaze over at some point. I'm like, okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm like way passionate about this, and I know that it's like not as exciting for them, but man, I agree. It's just a different world that I'm so lucky to have been a part of.
Do you think you'll ever be part of it again? Do you want to do another long one?
I do. I surprisingly, I never thought I would say this, but I think I want to do the CDT, not the 8. I may do the 18 one day if I'm like feeling like I just want a triple crown or something. And I don't know if I ever will, but if I did, I would do the CDT next, I would think.
Gotcha. Do you have any plans anytime soon? I'm sure your employers wouldn't want to hear that.
I know, right? Honestly, no. I think I'm gonna focus a little more on my career and kind of like not the boring parts of life, but like, I might have a family in a few years. Who knows? I'm just kind of seeing where life takes me, but I don't think through hiking is like out of my life. I think once you do one, it's like ruins you, right? Because like forever, I'll wish I was out there. Like this season already is kicked off, and I'm already jealous of everyone out there. Jealous and just like incredibly excited because I know what they're gonna do and like all they're gonna get to see, and it's so cool.
It is. I've heard that the AT is a great trail to do with kids if you're having a family.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I can barely get my own ass up those mountains. I don't know how. Else. I'm like stealing their snacks when they're asleep.
Man, that would just be wrong.
I
That'd
know,
be wrong.
right? I would be a terrible parent on the trail.
Well,
But
I got a few wrap-up questions about the PCT, though.
oh yeah, let's hear it. Let's go.
So, overall high, overall low.
Overall high, probably. I felt like Knife's Edge was. I've already said that's my best day, and I remember saying it while I was on. I was like, "This is the best day on the trail." Like that, so good. Just the scenery. Low, probably one of my low points, which I haven't talked about really, but I met some incredible people, trail angels that are from Friends Through a Friend at Home named Mike and Kathy. They met me in Mammoth, and they also hosted me and a couple other hiker friends when we went and stayed with them in Reno for like a couple nights. And Mike and Kathy were incredible hosts, but unfortunately, one of my friends on accident flooded their house.
Ooh.
And it was it was a nightmare because it was really bad, and it was just that was like I just remember being like totally defeated. I got back on trail and like I couldn't even have fun on trail because that had happened, and I was trying to like take care of that while like knowing I still had to be in the woods. So I was like every time I got service I was like checking on things, like trying to figure out like what we can do to help. So that was a low, and it was like almost not even trail related. I think sometimes, especially from people who haven't through hiked, don't realize that there are lots of emotions and things happening beyond just hiking. You know what I mean? Like you're still living a lifestyle out there with other people, humans involved, like lots of like normal things. Like it's its own community, so you're having things that are struggles that are not just like trail related. You know what I mean?
I do. And
Like,
when you're out there and you're hiking all day and you're hot and exhausted, your walls come down, and the trail makes you get stuff out whether you want to or not.
totally. And you just feel things so much more deeply. Like when that was happening, I was so much more stressed, I think, than I would have been if I wasn't like in the middle of hiking. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just emotions are raw. And so, yeah, people I think just view trail as like, oh, your body must hurt. You must be tired. It's like, yeah, but also there's all these other human elements going on at the same time that happen in normal life too. So that was a low for me because I was trying to figure all that out while still trying to hike. And we got it sorted and it was fine. And they were just like the best people ever. Like they were like, just don't worry about it. Just go out there and hike. I was like, I really feel like I got to worry about this.
Thank God for people like that, though.
Yeah, they're the best. So Mike and Kathy, if you're listening, like, thank you so much for everything.
And we hope you got all the water damage cleared up.
Yeah, for real. And my hiker friend like helped take care of it too. But at the moment, it was just stressful to figure out how we were gonna get it all taken care of. So that was a low.
How did they flood the house?
So he like was running the bath, and I don't know if he like fell asleep or something. And yeah, the bath was like still going.
Oh, so. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, and I think, us being hikers, just like, we weren't drinking or anything. That's the crazy thing. I was like, was he drunk? Like, we didn't drink. Like, what happened? But no, I think he was just tired or whatever. And it was just purely an accident, but like the worst thing that could have happened.
Jeez. Well, I'm glad it's all sorted, though.
Yeah, it all worked out.
Other question. What piece of gear do you wish you had with you that you didn't?
A lot of people asked me that. I'm sure you've gotten that question a lot. I don't just recall a certain piece of gear. I wish I feel like I was very happy with my gear. I spent a lot of time before trail like narrowing down and like shedding gear that I didn't need based just off research because I didn't have a lot of experience, but I did not even shed that much gear. The only gear I don't think there was a gear item that I wish I had, and the only gear that I did shed was I had like a food cozy, which is stupid. Did not need that. Like ridiculous.
Did you make it?
No, and it's like so silly that I even brought it. Like it was so bulky, it weighed nothing, but it was just like I don't need this shit. Like no one cares about their food being like hot to the touch. Like I'll use my glove or something.
Yeah, I guess you could ask the hot soakers how they feel about hot food or the cold soakers.
God. Yeah, the cold soakers. Oh, what's funny is before trail, I did not have a stove at first. I wasn't going to carry a stove. I was going to cold soak, and then I did one shakedown hike before I left. Literally the whole time I was like, I wish I had hot coffee. And so I got a stove literally a week before trail, and I had coffee every single day on trail, every day.
Good for you. So did we. I feel like we couldn't have made it without it.
Oh, me either. Like it was so important. Such a good decision.
The number one most consumed drug in America.
Oh, I'm an addict. It's fine.
I do have another question about your social media.
Yeah.
How on earth did you keep up with it when you were hiking? Because I tried and I just gave up halfway and figured I would just finish it whenever I was done with the trail.
Yeah, no, I think it took a lot out of me. I carried 2 battery packs and I was constantly, I think I was just tired of having my phone out on moments that I wanted to enjoy.
Yeah.
But everyone says this, and of course, it's so true. I'm so thankful for every moment I recorded because it's hard to remember everything. And editing during trail was very difficult, but I would just like in town, I took longer in town than probably, I took way longer to hike the trail than most people, but I spent a lot of time in town editing. And for me, I'm really glad I did because it was kind of like a relief when I was done with trail that I also like already had this fully done project.
Yeah.
Which was my vlog. But it took a lot out of me. I mean, I'm telling you, like in town, you already know, like you don't want to spend your time editing. You just want to lay there.
It's true because whenever you're in town, you're doing chores, and when you're not doing chores, you don't want to do anything.
Exactly. Like it's not like you have people just think we have all this free time when you're in town. It's like you really don't. It feels like by the time you wash your clothes, resupply, all that stuff, it's like you're already like ready to go back on trail. So
it's true. And if you stay in town too long, you get antsy.
Oh yeah, it's like it's like you just have like this nervous energy that you have to like get back on trail.
It's true. It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It is.
What social media or other blogs or vlogs or whatever can people find your content at?
Yeah, I didn't really do too much with my Instagram, but my YouTube, April All Around, is obviously like my biggest platform and where I spent most of my time. And I have a video. I videoed every single day, including town days, and so it's in there. I mean, there's like a ton of videos, usually in increments of like 2 to 3 days.
Perfect. Well, we'll get all of that information linked down in the show notes. Well, I guess my last question for you before I let you go, it's almost 2 hours runtime here, is what would you say for people hiking or wanting to start a hike?
Just freaking go do it. Like, it's so worth it. No one is ever ready. You want to do your best to prepare, but at the same time, like, don't let preparation hold you back. I think a lot of preparation is done on trail, or like maybe you prepared, but then on trail, your whole plan changes because of factors you didn't foresee. So do the right planning, but at the same time, like, you just got to get out there and do it. And don't wait till you're retired. Don't wait for 10 years. Like, you just got to get out there.
Get out there and do it while you can.
Yeah.
Preach it.
It's important. Like, we don't know if it's going to be there, and if it's there, how many more burn areas are there going to be? I just wouldn't wait forever.
You're right. And you're not promised tomorrow. You don't know, what your physical condition would be a week from now. So while you're in good shape, do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I kind of counteracts what I was saying. Like, I think you have to be patient and prepare a little bit, but I'm saying don't like over prepare where you're just like never going to get out there.
It's a nice blend of the two.
It is. It is.
Perfect. April, Roy G, thank you so much for taking the last 2 hours to speak to us. Anything you want to say before I let you go?
Man, I'm so happy that you and Basecamp were the first people I met on trail, and just you guys really set the tone for my dad and I, and y'all are just really are like some of the people that like represent like what the PCT is like, and I think it was just really cool that y'all were a part of my early on experience. So thanks for having me, and just keep in touch, and I wish y'all the best if y'all hike the next couple years. And I hope y'all vlog because I'm going to be your #1 follower.
Oh, for sure. I'm trying to get our YouTube caught up, but right now you're choking me up with what you just said. So,
and y'all really are. Like, I'm excited for you guys to get back out there and other people to get to meet y'all because y'all were a big part of my initial experience. So y'all really set the tone for me, and I appreciate that.
Well, thanks, Roy G. I think if we do another one, it'll be the CDT. Who knows when, but hopefully we'll see you out there.
Oh my God. At least maybe for a section, right?
Maybe for a section. Hey,
right.
Thank you so much. And I hope you and your dad have a great day. I know he's been kicked off once again, but tell him that I really appreciate him taking the time to join.
Yeah, I'll let him know. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Well, everyone, we hope you're enjoying our podcast.
Yeti
Walks into Basecamp. We're your hosts. I'm Basecamp.
And I'm Yeti Legs. If you enjoy this podcast, please let us know in the comments below. Or you can also shoot us an email to our podcast, yetiwalksintobasecamp@gmail.com. So it's just the name of our podcast, all together, all lowercase. We look forward to hearing from you. And if you do enjoy our episodes, please be sure to like and subscribe. If there are any pertinent links or other information that you're interested in from the episode, just find that in the show notes below.
I also wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to Ryan G for our intro and Bradley Black for our outro.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. As we like to say in the hiking community,
Happy trails.